What's up, everybody? This is Christian Van Buren, head strength and conditioning coach at D1 Training, as well as founder and creator of what we know as Gorilla Tech. And today I want to talk to you about two things, okay? We're going to talk about technical models as well as movement bandwidth. Why is this important, okay? As of late, we've been having some discussions here at the facility in regards to what technique should look like, right? Some people don't necessarily know exactly what's good form. Some people don't necessarily know what's good technique, what's safe and what's not safe. Here today, we're going to clear the air on that. So, starting, okay, technical models. Technical models are really simple. All that is, it tells us what should it look like, right? So what should an exercise look like? What should a running technique look like? What should any movement that we do athletically or in the weight room look like, okay? Well, all that is it gives us our cues, a rough idea. So it could be, like today we're going to talk about a back squat. It could be things such as keeping the chest up, the eyes forward, or the butt back. It gives us a rough idea of where we should be physically, okay, as an individual. Movement bandwidth, okay, all that does is make more sense of the technical model by showing us patterns of deviance due to lever systems and or deficiencies. Questions we have to ask ourselves when we notice these so-called deficiencies are, do they actually exist, or as coaches, have we set them up for failure, them being athletes and those that we train, okay? That all traces back to the lever system. Are our cues effective? If we've cued effectively, right, we shouldn't have issues with maintaining safety within the movement bandwidth. All right, so we're going to discuss a little bit of that today using our videos that we have ahead. So here, Rod Guy's going to perform a squat. Okay, I'm going to give him the cues that I know to be true based on the technical model of a back squat, and let's see how he does. Okay, here we go, Rod Guy, chest up. All right, here we go. Now sit down like you're sitting in a chair and squat. All right, now if you notice, there's some issues there. He's stumbling back, right? So, is there a deficiency and or am I cueing correctly? Let's see. So, Rod Guy, let's do this. Spread your feet out a little bit wider, maybe just outside shoulder width. Now, I want you to distribute your weight to the pinky toe side of your foot instead of the big toe, okay? Now, although you're keeping your chest up, I want you to push your butt back a little bit further than usual, as if you're trying to direct it to the wall behind you, and let your chest fall over slightly. Here we go. Let's do another squat. Back up. Let's do one more. And relax. So, as you can tell from that example right there, right, on his first squat, we saw an issue, okay? Now, for some athletes, there might have been a deficiency, whether that be some sort of tightness or some sort of weakness in the muscles that are being used for the squat. In Rod Guy's case, all it was a simple adjustment using his lever system, so the things that we notice about his hips, his ankles, his knees, right, based on his height, and we were able to change that. We were able to correct that squat to look more of what it's supposed to look like, right? Which is closer to the technical model. Now I'm going to show you my squat technique, and then we're going to discuss my squat technique in comparison to Rod Guy's. Okay, now I'm going to perform my back squat based on the technical model of a back squat, so what it should look like. Okay, you're going to notice that I might look slightly different. Now I like to squat barefoot. Okay, and I'm gonna actually have a little wider base than Rod Guy has initially, okay? I'm gonna push my butt back. I'm gonna keep my chest up as I see fit based on my lever system, and I'm gonna squat. Now I might be a little more forward than Rod Guy on my squat, but if you notice, I still have vertical posture somewhat, okay? In more of a horizontal plane on my back squat, which still keeps my spine vertical and neutralized. So, we saw two examples of the back squat, okay? We understand the technical model of a back squat, right? So, how it should look, the cues we should use, right? To give us a rough idea of how the athlete should look as well. So we know what a squat is supposed to look like and how it's supposed to be carried out. However, given the athlete or the person, whether they have deficiencies and or just incorrect setup, right? We understand that the movement bandwidth, right, sometimes will dictate what's safe and what's not. What do I mean by that? If I take a hammer, say this is the nail. I'm not a great artist, but say that's a nail. And I swing a hammer one time and I hit it in a certain part of that nail. What's the likelihood that I'll hit that nail in the same exact spot every time? Highly unlikely. In fact, if I go again, I might hit it in a different spot. I might hit it in a different spot as well. I might go again and hit it in another different spot. At the end of the day, did I still hit the nail, right? So the movement bandwidth, as I said earlier, is a pattern of deviance due to leverage deficiencies, okay? The bandwidth for a squat might rest somewhere in here, meaning that anywhere in here, given a person's technique, it is considered safe to carry out the movement, right? I'm gonna squat differently than Rah Guy. Rah Guy's gonna squat differently than Drew Brees. Drew Brees is gonna squat differently than Tom Brady, okay? At the end of the day, if we have the proper cueing, if a person doesn't have any deficiencies that we've noticed and or we've corrected them, whether it be through cueing or redirecting their setup, right? If we've done all of that, they're going to squat in the best possible way for themselves as they can in that current time. So just because it deviates from how you squat, how I squat, or how another person squat, it does not necessarily mean that it's wrong, okay? It might be the most effective and the most efficient for you and or the other person. At the end of the day, understanding the technical model and the deviances that we'll see in a movement bandwidth, understand that no movement will always look the same from person to person, but it still, in that regard, can be safe. I'm Christian Van Buren, and thank you guys for joining me today.